brother's a Psychic Tera Moon, and they do have Sunny Day. What's the one thing that's 4 times effective against Okidogi? Good afternoon, Pokésports. Welcome to another VGC Battle Sim Regulation E video, bringing you an Okidogi team. Now, Okidogi, we actually did play Regulation E before, but it's so long ago, and I'm sure that team was not optimized at all. So here we have a team from Cloverbells, who's a very, very good YouTuber, very good team builder as well. A lot of people take his rental teams and take his teams in general to like locals or regionals and get like really good performances with them. So we trust Cloverbells here on Pokésports. Anyway, Cloverbells went ahead and created an Okidogi team running the Fairy Terror Okidogi with Guard Dog, Gunk Shot, Drain Punch, Bulk Up, Protect, and Lefties. A little bit of a bulkier Okidogi that I'm used to playing, but hey, I'm down for it. I'm excited for it. We do have the rest of the team that I'm also very excited to play too. This is a very high meta team, very strong Pokemon included here. We have the Wellspring Ogerpon, have the Roaring Moon, have the Ninetales with Light Clay, and Icy Wind, no Blizzard, just straight up Ninetales, bulky Ninetales that's just going to get speed control and set up the dual screens. Landers with Choice Scarf and everyone's favorite fairy type, Heatran. Now, this team is meant to be a very balanced team. You are prepared for literally 9 out of 10 situations, and I'm sure you guys will see what I mean by that after we take this onto the battle spot and see what our opponents are bringing. Anyway, if you guys are excited to see what the heck's about to happen here with Okidogi, hit the like button down below, subscribe to Pokésports if you haven't done so already, and say goodbye to Future Kevin, because this is the last video you're going to have with Future Kevin, folks. Anyways, Keto, rocking the Farigiraf, and the Regidrago, with an Ursh, with a Rilla, with a Kingambit, and with a Hearthflame Ogerpon. Now, initially, I'm a little afraid, because I do have Intimidate on my side of the field, and they do have a Kingambit. Also, I don't have a lot of fairy types. I do have specifically 2. I have my Ninetales, and I guess my Heatran, right? It's for that Regidrago. If I ignore this Regidrago can essentially run rampant on me, right? We don't want that. That's a big no-no. That's a big sad. So if we are in the wrong position when that Regidrago's on the field, that's when we get punished for it. And I think that's why Regidrago has been picking up a lot in like tournament usage. That's because it forces your opponent to play in a certain ways. Certain ways that are predictable. And if you're ever in a situation where you catch your opponent off guard, if you catch your opponent in an unfavorable position, brother, not much is going to take a Dragon Energy from a max HP Regidrago. You got to really, really play smart. All right, me and my opponent have the same vibe on our trainer cards. I can appreciate that. Long hair, don't care. Ogerpon for Regidrago is going to come out to start the game as we go Ninetales and Heatran. As you can see, I was really worried about Regidrago. But since they have I said Ninetales? Regidrago and Ogerpon, I'm like, okay, fine. I see no way to change my weather. I see no reason to not just set up screens. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Go ahead, set your Trick Room, be my guest, do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and set screens. I also went for the Fairy Terror here. You guys might be wondering why I decided to Fairy Terror. Stopping Tantrum Hearthflame Mask has been the thing. Or at least has been the thing that I've been playing against a lot while I'm not playing Pokemon Go and I'm actually practicing this game for Charlotte Regionals. That's been the thing. Stopping Tantrum has caught me off guard with my Heatran, and I'm not a big fan of it, so I don't want to let it catch me off guard on close team sheet, right? There's no need. I might as well play as cautiously as I possibly can in this situation. Now, anyway, fastest thing on the field is the Ninetales. We are going to get the Aurora Vela. Awesome. That's going to help us a lot for the remainder of this battle. And then the Ogerpon whips out the Swords Dance. I was like, whoa. Brother just went to +2 right away. And all I did was go for a Heat Wave. That's going to do a little bit of damage to both of the Pokemon on the opposing side of the field, but not that much damage. And then they hit me with the Trick Room. I'm like, wait. This doesn't math correctly. Because Ogerpon is fast. Right? Is it not a fast pawn? So now I started to doubt my speed tiers here. Then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, Ninetales technically isn't supposed to outspeed Ogerpon if Ogerpon is max speed. Or even if it's like a standard set. So I was a little concerned with how slow this Ogerpon was. Listen, it might have been min speed Ogerpon for all I know. But hey, I see it. And then I see this. They have a +2 move on everything. They just went for a nasty plot with their Regidrago. I go for the Earth Power, hoping they're going to Fire Tera, no Fire Tera to be found. Instead, they just hit me with the Ivy Cudgel +2 into my poor Ninetales. Forget screens. Ninetales was evaporated. I literally melted and evaporated at the exact same time. Spontaneous melting. Anyway, I have one of those too. Mine is typically slower, but this is where I had that whole speed tier thing question in my head. I was like, I don't know the speed tiers. This is such an awkward Ogerpon in Trick Room. Now, if my Ogerpon is a little faster than their Ogerpon, if there actually are min speed Ogerpon, I'm in trouble. So I decided to Spiky Shield instead. Because I was also trying to see if maybe they Spiky Shield and I can get a hint for the speed tier, but unfortunately they didn't decide to Spiky Shield. Instead, they hit me with a Psy Shock. It's going to melt through my Assault Vest because it deals physical damage. Thankfully, I'm able to knock out the Hearthflame Mask and not even have to worry about speed tiers. At the very least, I know my Heatran was faster than it. So then, I'll take that. Fine by me. That's one of their +2 Mons gone. I now have to deal with another +2 Mon on their side of the field. And then here comes the King Gambit. King Gambit is a steel Pokemon, and unfortunately my Heatran is a fairy type now, so kind of awkward. I can play around it with my Follow Me, though. I do have Follow Me, and I think I can redirect Sucker Punches, because I'm initially afraid about a Sucker Punch, and I think I can redirect any Iron Heads away as well, so I have options. Followed by that, I really want to make sure I knock out Fruit Giraffe, so I actually go for the Fairy Tera Terra Blast, instead predicting them to go for Terastallization here. But they actually Terastallize the King Gambit into the Dragon type. Steel type's new favorite Terra, Dragon. Alright, Follow Me here, just because I want to redirect something that the King Gambit's going to throw at my Heatran. But at the same time, they Psy Shock my Ogerpon, bring me down to half, and a third Pokemon. 3 Pokemon. 3. With a +2 move. 2 with Swords Dance, 1 with Nasty Plot. I'm starting to think my opponent has 1 goal and 1 goal in mind. That's to get to +6. Talk about being brave, man. Talk about being real brave. And also Dragon Terror in front of a Fairy Heatran. I don't even have to tell you what the problem with that one is. Anyway, their final Pokemon is going to be the Hershey Dershey. Going to be a Watersh as well. Now, I think there's no other play here other than for me to go for the Fairy Tera Terra Blast. But I was also considering, hey, maybe King Gambit has Protect. I couldn't risk it, though. Like, if I had a Swords Dance, it doesn't have to be Assault Vest, so it probably doesn't take this Terra Blast very well, which also means it probably could have Protect. But then I started thinking about it even more. But then it needs Kotao, Sucker Punch, and Iron Head, and it already has Swords Dance. It can't afford Protect. I don't know. It was a hard call there. But inevitably, I went for the Terra Blast onto the King Gambit spot. I'm really hoping that it's just not going to be a Protect coming out of that spot. And this is where the Urshifu goes for Sword. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine the Urshifu hits, because the Urshifu can learn Swords Dance. They just go for the Kotao Cleave. Gonna finish off my Ogerpon. I should be outspeeding this Urshifu here too, so we don't have to worry about that. And we get to see exactly how much damage our Terra Fairy Heatran can do. And the answer to that is a lot, but not enough. They're gonna live. And then they lock in Ice Spinner? I was confused by this. I was a little confused about this. I guess because they were so afraid of... They must have forgotten about Trick Room. They might have been so afraid of my Wellspring Ogerpon that they didn't want to lock onto Surging Strikes, so instead they locked onto Ice Spinner because they are Scarfed. So now they're just stuck on Ice Spinner. I'm like, I don't care about Ice Spinner, that's fine. So this just became one of the hardest games of my life to one of my easiest games of my life. Because after they showed me Ice Spinner, there was a legitimate chance that I lost this game if they went for pretty much anything else. Now instead they go for the Sucker Punch into my Heatran. Ice Spinner again. This is where they showed me that they're locked onto it. Into my Okidogi. Okidogi hits him with the Drain Punch on the King Gambit. Bop. Doesn't even matter if it's not weak to it anymore. Okidogi's gonna get a KO in this battle. Of course, not the biggest primary factor, not the biggest win condition here, but still not bad nevertheless. Terra Blast now. Finally. into the Ursh. And just like that, Okidogi's taking a game. Cloverbell's team taking his first dub in today's video as well. Not too shabby. Now, on to the next one. Let's see what else we can do with Okidogi. Let's see if Okidogi can do a little bit more in this next one. Up against Jerry and his Rotom fan. I know what you guys are thinking. Kevin, what's the point of Rotom fan? Nothing. Nothing. There's no point to levitate and intimidate ever. And not intimidate. Levitate and flying type ever. But yet here we have a Pokemon that has levitate and flying type. The thing here is, I guess if you electric Tera the Rotom fan, then you lose the flying type, so then your levitate matters. So I guess that's something that you can do. But I mean, I don't know why I'm spending so much time talking about the Rotom fan. We all know that Jerry's not going to bring the Rotom fan to this battle, right? Why would you bring Rotom fan into like a Wellspring, Ogerpon, and a Landorus and a Roaring Moon? Like, it makes no sense. Unless our friend Jerry is brave enough to do it. Also, double electric types on Jerry's side of the field. Running the Flutterfish and running the Chenpao and the Urshifu. Interesting composition you got there, Jerry. If anyone knows where Jerry's team comes from, or if anyone knows Jerry IRL, tell Jerry to send me that team. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'll look at it. I'll definitely look at it. We might not play every team on Pokésports, but I promise we look at them all. All right, Jerry with the Chenpao Iron Hands lead to start the battle off, to start the game. This is initially a little bit scary. I mean, they have two Pokemon on the field that both have fighting type moves. One is a fighting type stab move, and I have two Pokemon on the field weak to fighting type. So you might look at this and be like, Kevin, you messed up, kid. And you're right. I don't feel confident right now. I let Jerry get the better of me. I initially saw that Rotom fan. That was the only thing on my mind. There was nothing else on my mind. I saw Rotom fan. I'm like, I got to get rid of this. Because if I don't get rid of this, I'm going to lose to Rotom fan on the channel. I'm not a Rotom fan of that. So you know what? We go for the Fairy Tera right away. This video is slowly evolving into the Heatran video. I don't intend for it to be the Heatran video. It might just end up being the Heatran video, though. Alright, Moon goes to the Protect again. I got an Ice Spinner to worry about. I got a Fake Out to worry about. I expected the Fake Out into the Roaring Moon too, just to stop me from setting up Tailwind. And hey, I was right. Followed by the Sacred Sword into the Heatran. I turned Fairy Tera, so again, very good turn for me. Of course, we missed the Heat Wave though, because Kevin Luck. Yeah. We got to deal with Kevin Luck. No big deal. We missed the Heat Wave on the Chenpao. It's not like we needed that Chenpao down to its sash or anything. Oh well. So now this turn, now that the Fake Out opportunity is gone for my opponent, our best option just became, okay, now we Tailwind in Heat Wave, right? I'm hoping that I outspeed this Chenpao with my Heatran. Apparently, I do. So that's always nice. And the Chenpao wasn't even sashed. That's a smile on my face. That is really good news for me. And then the Iron Hands whips out its Rock Slide. Jerry, I got questions for you, friend. Number one, if your Iron Hands has Rock Slide and Fake Out, what are the two other moves? And number two, who has the Sash? If the Chenpao doesn't have it. Regardless, we go for a nice and simple Breaking Swipe. We're going to lower the attack stat on this Iron Hands. Might as well do some spread damage. Double spread damage on their side of the field. Rotom fan is now Rotom Burnt fan. We're making some fan prosciutto today, folks. That's got to be my favorite meme that appeared here on this channel. Every time something gets burnt, just call it prosciutto. All right. Fan prosciutto on the field. Gonna take some burn chip. Didn't do too much to our side of the field, so that's always nice. They sent out the Fluttermane, who does have the 4x super effective stab on my Roaring Moon. Honestly, I'm looking at this Fluttermane. There ain't much I could do at this point. I only got 48 health left on my Heatran. I could make some swaps, but the swaps wouldn't matter too much. So it becomes a little situational, becomes a little iffy here. They're gonna click Terastallization as well. I really hope it's not Rotom. No, it's the Flutter, okay. They're gonna Terastallize the Flutter. Nice little Fairy Tera. Just to guarantee this amount of damage. We actually do outspeed. We're going to go for the knockoff. Doesn't actually matter, but I couldn't really go for anything else. And my Heat Rain outspeeds it too. Fluttermane's still going to live, though. All things considered, I'm super surprised that my Heat Rain's able to outspeed a Fluttermane, even in Tailwind, because I think this Heat Rain's not that fast. Dazzling Gleam, unfortunately, double KOs my side of the field. Pour one out for my friends. I won't actually because I'm thirsty, but yeah, you know, pour one out. All right, down to our Okidogi and our Wellspring Ogerpon. Honestly, this Fluttermane's at half HP. I can literally put my controller down, let the game decide the moves for me, and still probably win the game here, I think. Again, Okidogi not doing much, though, which is unfortunate. It's kind of unfortunate that Okidogi's coming in the back, because that means that Okidogi is kind of just always late to the party. I've also been getting the leads very, very correctly. Like, I've been having very good leads. Even though that last one seemed like a bad lead for us, we still managed to terrestrialize and protect in the correct places to make it a good lead for us. Anyway, GG's, Jerry. Sorry, Rotom fan couldn't do anything against Okidogi, but hey, it is what it is. On to the next. Roberto. Roberto with the double electric types as well. Taking a page out of Jerry's book, except they have another electric flying type. This one is a Thunderous. A little bit different than a Rotom fan. Thunderous, Iron Hands, Iron Bundle, Roaring Moon, Fluttermane, and Hisuian Arcanine. That is a terrifying looking team. But you know what? I'm seeing that moon. I'm fearing that moon. I'm going with both my fairy types in the lead. Bringing the Heatran, bringing the Alolan Ninetales, rocking the Okidogi in the back again. Again, it's another Okidogi in the back game. Listen. If the dogs are in your front yard, you know the team's going hard. Okidogi's in the back, though, so I guess it's not in the front yard. Roberto with the Pokeball. Oh, wait, hold on. With the Pokeball. Thunderous and Iron Bundle going to be Roberto's lead. Look at Thunderous ruining the angle of the camera. Okay, this seems like a pretty okay situation for us. I want to click Aurora Veil right away, but I also recognize the fact that Thunderous can change weather. So a very simple thing that Thunderous can do to ruin my life would be to either change the weather or taunt me. It could do both of those things. Not a big fan. So instead, what I want to do is I'm going to just go for a Moonblast. Did I go for the Icy Wind? I'm going to go on for the Icy Wind here just for a little bit of speed control. And then in case they do change the weather and go for the Sunny Day, I'm going to go for the Heat Wave and then just get boosted damage from that Sunny Day. I'll take it. Either way, it's a win-win situation for me. They just go for the Hydro Pump. Thankfully, we decided to Terrestrialize and we have a Assault Vest. We eat that up. We do go for the Moonblast. We're trying to do as much damage to this Delibird as possible. Unfortunately, we get Snarled, though. Because I think the Snarl is actually going to make the difference here with this KO. Iron Bundle doesn't have a lot of special defense, which is why I'm... Oh, no, we still... Yeah, that's how little defense, special defense Iron Bundle has. We were still able to knock it out even at -1. The Snarl, though, that wasn't on my bingo cards. I didn't expect the Snarl to come out. That one threw me off. Anyway, here comes Brahmalama. Now that they didn't show me that they have Taunt, or they can change the weather, I feel more confident to go for this Aurora Veil. Because I do think I need this Aurora Veil in order to take this game. That's just how I personally feel. But anyway, we get our Okidogi on the field. They're going to go for the Terrestrialization with the Moon. Oh, that's right. Brother's a Psychic Tera Moon. And they do have Sunny Day. I was so confident they didn't have Sunny Day. What's the one thing that's 4 times effective against Okidogi? Who would have predicted that? Who would have predicted this turn at all? Nobody. There is no one out there right now that said, Kevin, you should have expected him to go for the Zen Headbutt Psychic Tera into your Heatran, and you shouldn't have switched Okidogi into that spot. There's no way. And you know what? Second Zen Headbutt into my Heatran ain't even enough to knock me out. They're Life Orb on top of all of this. Now my goal here has to be to try to get this Brahma Llama inside a speed tier that I can handle. But I can't find it. I keep clicking Icy Wind and somehow it's still faster than my team. This is literally... Clover, man. You might have to redo this whole team. Apparently, you didn't calc for the Psychic Tera Zen Headbutt Roaring Moon. Man, I love Pokemon sometimes. I sure do love Pokemon sometimes. The third Zen Headbutt this game, not missing a single one. Into my Alola Ninetales. I was never able to get the screens up as well. Like, look at this. Look how many Icy Winds I'm going for to just try to get this Brahma Llama in a speed tier that I can handle. And I can't find it. It's still outspeeding my Ninetales. It's still outspeeding my Heatran. And then now the Thundurus knocking out my Heatran with a Thunderball is just insult to injury. I am gonna lose to this Roaring Moon. I didn't think I was gonna lose to this Roaring Moon, but alas, here we is. We are here. And I can't get myself in a position to where I can handle anything that's going on. I gotta attack this Roaring Moon. I gotta hope I outspeed this Roaring Moon. And I also have to stop this Thundurus from just like one-shotting my whole team. They're finally gonna swap out the Llama into the Iron Hands. But since... Oh, they whip out the Electric Terrain too. Because why not? Why wouldn't you have Electric Terrain? We're about to see how much damage an Iron Hands, who has access to Quark Drive, can do. Get ready, folks. Get ready for me Rhydon to enter the game. Because once it does, every Iron Hands you know will just have this move. Will just have Quark Drive active. And it honestly does too much. Alright, I'm going to Spiky Shield here just to try to gather whatever's left of this game. As the Iron Hand's going to go for the fake out into my Spiky Shield. So I got that call right. I'm making good calls. It was just the Psychic Tera that I wasn't prepared for. Secondary Moonblast into the Iron Hands. Not taking any damage though. I was snarled 1, 2, 3 too many times. Followed by the Thunderbolts into the Ninetales, which does inevitably knock out my Ninetales. Thankfully, the sun does fade, so this means that, hey, I might be able to cudgel some things. But I go for the Horn Leech just because... Do I? No, I do go for the Cudgel. Cudgel onto Iron Hands just because I gotta get rid of this thing. They set the Sunny Day back up, though. But even then, I'm like, okay, this is probably still my highest damage output. I can crit through it. I can crit through it. Doesn't matter. It lives at 1 HP. They go for the Drain Punch. Bruh. That is too much damage on that Drain Punch. That is an unnecessary amount of damage on that Drain Punch. And just like that, your boy lost to Psychic Tera Roaring Moon. And not just that, Iron Hand still lived my Horn Leech. And Okidogi hasn't done anything yet. Loyal Trio, more like Loyal Disappointment. Let's see if Okidogi can do something in the last battle. Let's see if we go against any Psychic Tera Roaring Moons in this last battle. Hopefully the answer to that question is no. Today, so far, we faced Rotom Fan and Psychic Tera Roaring Moon. Alright, Juliet with the bear, the other bear, and the PP. Okay. Rocking the Ursh, rocking the Clefairy. Bringing the Sinistra, bringing the Iron Hands. Also, hi Como and hi Ursaluna, Blursaluna. I'm going with old tried and truthful, right? I'm going with the ones that I know work. I'm going with the Ninetales lead. I'm going with the Heatran lead. I'm going with the Okidogi in the back. And I'm going with the Wellspring Ogerpon. Although it didn't win in the last battle, I don't think my Pokemon were the problem. For some reason, I think something else happened in that last battle, which I'll stop talking about. They're going to lead Iron Hands and Blurse right away. This is kind of scary, because they do have a Fake Out turn they can use, and that Fake Out turn would suck a lot for me. But I'll make them do the decision of, do you Fake Out the Heatran for damage, or do you stop my dual screens? I have to Fairy Tera again. I think I've Fairy Tera'd every single time this video. Just because it's just so ideal in most case scenarios, right? Right now, I'm Assault Vested, so I should be able to take any special attack that's coming in from the Heatran that isn't a 4 times effective ground move. So Fairy Tera is super safe. And also, the other guy can punch me. All right, they're going to Fake Out my Ninetales, which means I'm allowed to just attack here with a Fairy Tera Tera Blast on an Iron Hands. I'll take that. This is a lot of damage. Now, of course, they're also AV, so it's not going to do too much damage. But hey, the bear Calm Minds next to me. So now, after I see Calm Mind, I got to start doing math in my head, because I know it's not Assault Vest. We know that the Iron Hands is most likely Assault Vest, considering how much damage it just took there as well. So the bear could be Throat Spray, Normal Gem. There's a lot of options. Specs. It can't be Specs. It just went for Calm Mind. It could be Specs, but that'd be stupid. So I'm thinking of the moves that it has. You know it has Blood Moon. It now has Calm Mind. It probably has Protected Earth Power in there, so I'm kind of just making assumptions of what the moveset is. They swap into Sinistcha, which, fine, hey. Not a big deal. Maybe expecting another fairy move to come into it. They didn't really get to use the Hospitality. They're going to hit me with the normal Terra right away. They are going for death. They don't care what it is, who it is, they're going for death. Thankfully, we're able to get the Aurora Veil up, though. And since we're able to get the Aurora Veil up, this helps our damage calcs a lot more. With the Assault Vest, with the Aurora Veil, we're feeling really nice. We're going to go for the Heat Wave there, just so that we can get some spread damage on the bear. And also, hey, I guess we got lucky with the Sinister Switch. They now go for the Blood Moon into my Heatran. Gonna knock me down below half to 71 HP. Wow, that's a 2-hit KO. That's a +1 normal Terra base 150 attack right now. That my Heatran just took that, which is kind of crazy to consider. But you know what? There's no better play right now than to just do what works and Heat Wave again. Go for a nice and simple Heat Wave. Don't overthink this game. Don't overthink this turn. Work for the end game. The Sinister swaps out. Again, they're just going to keep doing the Sinister thing because they're going to get to keep the Fake Out. And they're also going to get to have the Hospitality continue and go again and again and again. Fair enough. The bear also goes for Protect here. So we know 3 of its 4 moves. I'm assuming the last one is Earth Power this whole time. Thankfully, we called that swap. We went for the Moonblast. That's a very lucky crit, by the way. I do think I doubled anyway. Oh no, I Heat Waved again. Yeah, that crit might have mattered. That crit definitely might have mattered, but I am not questioning it. I just went against a Psychic Tera Roaring Moon. I've earned that crit. That's RNG in and of itself, to go against an opponent like that. That's life RNG. Alright, the Stern's coming back. It's the Sinistcha. Gonna heal back the Hospitality back to full. Okidogi, fair enough. I get it, Okidogi. Alright, Moonblast again into the Sinistcha, just because I think that's still enough to knock it out there. And I kind of just have to sit here and decide what my highest damage output here is. It's technically Heat Wave, so I'm going to go for Heat Wave. It's also my safest hit here because the Sinistcha decides to protect. It's going to keep itself alive for another turn. Ninetales Moonblast into the Sinistcha. Not going to happen, though. Heat Wave into the Blurse. Don't get me wrong, this Blurse is annoying. But I'm more concerned about the Sinistcha going for a Trick Room, because that's the only way this Blurse can really run over this game and take over. Because as long as I outspeed the Blurse, I can deal with the Blurse. It's not a serious issue if I can just outspeed it and take care of it. I don't think, at least. This is my favorite song from Kid Icarus, by the way. That's what I'm excited about for the Indigo disc. I want to hear the music. All right, Okidogi's finally entering the field. Hello, Dogi. Let's hit him with that bulk up. Let's get a little bit greedy. Mostly because I think that the Ursaluna is going to either protect or hit Earth Power. Again, Earth Power would be bad for Okidogi. But I honestly think the protect is coming. So instead of wasting my time, wasting my turn, not accomplishing anything this turn and just punching into a bear, I might as well go to +1 in defense and physical attack. Moonblast into the center, gonna be enough to knock out. We get to see what their final Pokemon is here now. And Okidogi, he's setting up. He's trying, look at that tongue. He's getting ready, getting angry, getting bulked up. This battle's been going on for so long, the snow stopped. All right, Lefty's gonna heal back the bear a little bit further. Their last is gonna be the Tower Master itself, the Ursh. Here comes Ursh and Blurse. You know what? I could make a really hard read here, and I was considering it. Oh, not running. I was considering making the hard read, but I could also just Moonblast, I think. I'm gonna Moonblast and protect. The reason I'm protecting isn't for the Urshi, by the way. It's for the Blood Moon. Because I know my Ninetales can take a Surging Strikes, and I know that the Okidogi is the primary threat for this Blood Moon, so they're gonna focus it. So you know what? I protected for the Blood Moon. I'm gonna hit him with the Moonblast onto the Urshi spot, break it down to the red HP, lowering that special attack that doesn't matter, and then Blood Moon into the Dogi, and I didn't take any damage this turn. Now you could say that turn was an unnecessary risk, but at the same time, I think it was a pretty decent play. Because now, just hit him with the Moonblast again. They're forced to go for the Aqua Jet now. And this is the safest Drain Punch of my life. And now we're getting to see what the Surging Strikes would have done to Okidogi anyway. I believe it's not even a 2-hit KO. Do I have a berry? No, I don't. Okay, it would have been a 2-hit KO. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We still knock out the Urshifu. I guess they were hoping that would do a lot more damage than it did. Big Drain Punch now onto the bear. Gonna leave the bear in the red. The fact that it lives that at +1 is still nuts to consider. And this is where the bear shows it had Hyper Voice that whole time. So I was predicting it protects every other turn, but it just had Hyper Voice. It could have Blood Mooned and Hyper Voiced and Blood Mooned and Hyper Voiced over and over, and then I would have just been wrong. And taken so much unnecessary damage that I didn't have to take. Oh, I have lefties. Oh, that's right. I have lefties on Dogi. All right, into the Ogre Pond we go. And I feel like we've been in this situation multiple times today, where it's Ogre Pond plus Dogi in the late game against one HP Pokemon. Ivy Cudgel into the Blurse. Drain Punch into the Blurse. And unfortunately, Okidogi won't get the KO. But it was a big reason we won this battle. I will say that, okay, we are protecting for no reason. The game is not yet over. I wasn't prepared for my commentary. I wasn't ready. I didn't have enough things to say. I was getting ready to end the video, and then they whipped me with the protect. Okay. We love the pointless protects. Best kind of protects around here. I guess you can make the argument that they're protecting for their leftover HP. I don't know if that HP is enough to live an Ivy Cudgel plus a Drain Punch. Maybe that's just me, though. Again, Ivy Cudgel, Drain Punch into the bear, and the battle was canceled. Ending the video off there. Thank you so much, Cloverbells, for posting this team on the Pokésports Discord and making it public. Make sure to check out Cloverbells. We'll leave a link to his channel down below in the description. Great content over his direction. Anyway, that's the last video with future Kevin. We did it. We somehow salvaged 5 episodes of content that otherwise would have never been seen by anybody. So, hey, we did what we had to do. We brought in future Kevin to take over for 5 videos, and then past Kevin will be here live in the following one. And the next one's going to be a DLC video, so get ready for that. Anyway, Okay, this is Pokésports. Have yourselves a fantastic evening, and I will catch you in the Indigo Disc. We're off to the Blueberry Academy, and I'm scared. I'm scared of what's gonna happen. Don't know why, but we'll find out together. Peace out. Bye-bye.